I'm really curious about this one.
Okay.
What is your process?
So I was waiting for that question because I've got right here. I've got my microphone set up.
Oh, nice.
Here's my plosive blocker. Gonna
Nice.
mention that. This is a Technica, an Ars Technica, not Ars Technica, Audio
Audio
Technica.
Technica, cool.
I don't know what kind it is, but it's in there somewhere underneath this thing, and I got my headphones. Obviously, that's not my process, but that's part of it.
Hmm.
I was just sitting here waiting, ready for his screen time. Um, I mentioned earlier I definitely use Camtasia.
Hmm.
It's great, so I won't talk about that anymore. Um, it's true that with audio quality, you can get away with a lot now, especially because, well, I said I wasn't going to talk about Camtasia again, but Camtasia has audio leveling, it has noise removal. Uh, it's not perfect. It can't resurrect terrible audio, but even the audio leveling alone, it's like you can just do such professional work now
Hmm.
from home with very little. That's pretty staggering. Um, I think once I record it, I will edit it all at once. So I record it all straight through. I might have to re-record things along the way,
Hmm.
but I record it. It's plop it into Camtasia. I just have it as one long blob.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, one blob. I used to not do that, and maybe I shouldn't do it, but I still do.
Wait,
And
wait, wait. So do you record all at once, or do you record and stop one video?
oh well, yeah. So I certainly stop
Okay.
between for every the 7 to whatever minutes. To me, my range is usually more like 5 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
I like your range better, and I wish that I stuck to it more. I try to keep it there, but I will never put a video up that's longer than 15 minutes. But I think 10 minutes. There's a psychological thing I think at 10 minutes that's probably a better limit.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to stick to that. And similarly, overall, um, my lessons have grown. There's been a scope creep where they would be like 45 minutes to an hour, and then they were 2 hours, and then they were 3 hours, then they were 4 hours, then they were like 5.5 hours. And like I tried to strip them down so much, but
Hmm.
it still was that long. So I'm still proud of them, but it's like, man, there's just still a limit that it could be overwhelming. Even if in practice it's not, because you only watch these little 10-minute videos.
Yeah, yeah.
In any case, I've tried to and would recommend bringing it back, 2 or 3 hours. People see that. It's like, oh, it's like watching a movie, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I guess a 5 hour could be a very long, epic movie, but in any case, um, yeah, I think I've even gotten feedback from people to that extent where they're like, love your stuff, man, but I'm happy that this is only 3 hours long and
Oh,
not like a
interesting. Yeah,
5.5 hour mega mix.
yeah.
Yeah, so taking that to heart for sure, and so that's a hot off the press thing that I learned. But it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so it'll be one long thing in Camtasia. I'll edit it. I wish, and if any of you know somebody who works with Camtasia, I wish I could play it back at two times speed. Like I want to be able to edit twice as fast.
I agree. Even Premiere doesn't have. I was looking for the
It's
same
such
thing
a
too.
like people have asked constantly. You can search for that on Google on like the TechSmith who makes Camtasia forums.
Yeah.
And people are like, please, and that's just nothing. I don't know why. It seems like it makes perfect sense. Um, what I end up doing, which is very cumbersome, is I just speed the clips up themselves
Oh, I
to
see.
2x speed, which is really annoying because once you get to a thing that you want to edit,
Mm-hmm.
you then have to undo the speed,
Oh, yeah.
refind where you were, which is, you double
Yeah,
or
yeah,
you have it. No, I guess double. And then you do it. I still find that it saves a lot of time anyway, even with that extra bit of work.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that would be great. In any case, it's not
Yeah,
like
that's a
that.
really good point. I'll start doing that. I didn't,
Yeah.
I didn't think about. I mean, I thought about it, but I'm like, yeah, this. I don't know. I'm afraid that it's going to be a waste of time. But if you use it,
Yeah. Well, because again, these lessons are like 3 hours long or longer.
yeah.
So I mean, now not anymore, but yeah. So that happens. Then I put markers in it, and then I So it's all one file, and then it creates all the files from there.
Mm-hmm.
So I have them. I do the same thing where everything I record and everything that I output goes into my designated Google Drive on my computer. So it is automatically syncing immediately.
Okay.
The moment I'm outputting anything, it is always being backed up.
Yep.
And that's because, I've lost everything before. When a hard drive dies.
Yep.
I should say I've lost everything maybe 3 or 4 times.
Oh.
So at a certain point, you're like, okay, maybe do something about it. So I finally have done something about it.
Yeah.
Google Drive, which you can buy disk space on the cloud. It's pretty cheap. I mean, it's $1.99 for like 100 gigs.
Yeah.
So it's like,
awesome.
Especially if you're just getting started, 100 gigs, it's going to take you a very long way. I only very recently, now that I have like 20 Applied Houdini lessons, I think. No, 16. I don't know. A bunch.
Sounds about right. 16.
Yeah, 16 makes more sense.
Yeah.
I guess 20 with the talks. Anyway, I've only finally kicked up how much space I buy from Google to 200 gigs. So now it's like $2.99 per month. It's like, it's such a small amount for peace of mind.
Yeah, totally.
Inconvenience, because like you said, it syncs to other places. So if you happen to have a setup somewhere else too, you could take it on the road with you.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so that's when it gets kicked out. Then I upload it to CG Circuit, and that's good. I appreciate all the improvements that you made to the website. It's really cool. And then from there, I'll put the intro things also on YouTube, also on Vimeo. That in and of itself becomes a form of promotion because I have a lot of people who have subscribed to my account on YouTube or subscribed to my account on Vimeo. Yeah. Those people are often the first to know when a new Applied Houdini comes out because they just see this new, promo video, which is like a best of the lesson.
Yep.
It's 1 minute long. It's just literally, I go through my whole lesson. I just find all of the like most interesting things that I can show quickly while I narrate over it. And then, that becomes a promo video, and it has the link back to CG Circuit where the actual lesson is. I also have, and this might be worth adding to the deck, making a website.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, I made a website on Squarespace. Hashtag build it beautifully, I think, is their thing. And anyway, if anyone has ever listened to a podcast, they've probably heard of Squarespace.
Yep.
And it's great, though. It's great. I mean, I've used it since day one of Applied Houdini. Again, relatively inexpensive. It's like $14 a month, maybe, something like that. But you get your domain name. Their templates are great, and it's fairly conducive. They have different templates for different purposes. So I think a blog-oriented one has worked best for me, where I can, every time I post a lesson, it is a blog post, and you can put tags and stuff on that. And then those posts, not unlike a blog, you can just organize your main page and have filters. So it's like all my free lessons are here, which are just the blog post tagged free. All my particles lessons are here, which are just the blog post tagged particles. So you get this nice dynamic front page that, again, each post has the video again on Vimeo and a link back to CG Circuit.
Yep.
And what's great about having that one-stop thing is it lends an air of authenticity to what you're doing, to your brand, another word that I hate saying.
Yep.
But it's true. It is, as much as I'm loath to admit it. It is a brand. And that is important because you mentioned YouTube for advertising. Yes, advertise on YouTube and advertise on Facebook. It doesn't matter how small your operation is. I mean, if you're watching this, presumably you maybe have not made lessons yet. Once you make your lesson, you have as much access to Facebook advertising as anybody does.
Yep.
So if you throw $100 at it, that is a lot of money, but it will buy you an incredible amount of exposure, like way more than you think it would. Honestly, forget $100, throw $20 at it.
Yeah.
$20 will buy you tens of thousands of people at least seeing your thing, which is, it's like if you were just, and I didn't do this at first, and I actually wish if I do it over again, I would have just done that earlier. Why not buy exposure?
Yep.
You know, it's not like you're buying page views, although in a way they are going to see it. You are literally just doing, here is my promotional video. What do you think?
Yep.
It's an end zone. It's a run straight to the end zone of, here it is. You don't have to be like, well, who's ever going to look at my video? Like, well, everyone will when you pay for them to do so. Exactly. And they will see it. And then they can decide whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
And again, it has an air of authenticity to it where it's like, wow, this thing is like important enough that it has like advertising associated with it. It's like a real product.
Yep.
So yeah, it's surprising how inexpensive it is versus the results that it gets you back. So whenever I release a video.
Yeah, if you guys are interested about, learning more about, advertising on Facebook, YouTube and stuff, let me know, because I can put together like a quick.
Yeah, that would be great, because I barely know anything about it. I do it and I try to like figure out my target audience, and it works pretty well. I imagine it could be better, but I'm already happy with how it works, and you can track it and everything else.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I post on LinkedIn. I accept anybody who wants to be my LinkedIn friend. Yeah. Literally anybody who contacts me, I will add, because it becomes a place where it's the same thing. When I post a new thing, they see it first, and it's like a connection where it's like, oh, the guy that I'm linked in with has a new, like, yeah. It's just another avenue for you to just, show them what you're doing.
Yeah, and this the important, like, especially if you do this kind of stuff, is really important when you have your branding, done well, like we said in the images, and Steve has done such a good job that when people start to seeing these advertisements, they will recognize right away that it's a new tutorial on Hista, that it's Steve that is doing this, right? So it's really great.
It's really gratifying too, when these new videos go up, and I'll get. I mean, I can't stress enough how doing this is not just about the money, and how it really is endearing, helping people, and people contacting you, and like putting up a new promo video and people being like, oh my God, the new Applied Houdini's here. Like, I thought I was going to go to bed, but I guess I can't now. It's just like things like that. I literally have in my Gmail a tag that says nice. So whenever anybody says something like that, I just tag it as nice. So now I can just go on my Gmail and be like, oh, look at all the nice things that people said about what we're doing here.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So next, we talked a little bit about promotion.